everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another very exciting LEGO build. I've been talking about this set for ages. Been wearing a Jaws shirt in this channel for a while. I love Jaws and I love Legos, so this is gonna be the perfect review. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me for another build. I'm punching out as much August 1st content as I can. I got the Source Dragon like 2 days before this, I believe, or like 1 or 2 days before. So I started the Dragon first and decided to make that my first new set video right after the Ferrari F40, which I actually found a little bit early on a shelf. This is obviously part of the August 1st wave. However, if you were like me and you stayed up all day on August 1st at night and it never launched, and basically there was an issue where it was basically broken in North America and did not release until August 4th, I believe. I think it was, even though they adjusted it from the first to the 3rd, and then I believe it was at the 4th. So one of my followers actually posted something that it was live, so thank you so much, whoever you were. But it helps out a lot. This is $150. This is part of the Idea series. This is basically in the same line as the Jurassic Park T-Rex Escape, which I have somewhere. Can't find it. I honestly might repurchase it just to build it for the channel. Contains 1,497 pieces. 3 minifigures and Bruce, of course. And if you did not know that, yes, Bruce is the technical name of the shark. And yes, that is where Finding Nemo did get the idea of Bruce from as well. But you're going to need a bigger boat. One of the greatest and most iconic movies ever. This shirt is actually from one of the filming locations in Martha's Vineyard, this was Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard. One of the two when we went there a couple summers ago. And beautiful spot, by the way. If you guys ever get out there, especially Nantucket, it's lovely. Wait, no, it's Martha's Vineyard. It says it on the shirt. I can read. But yeah, very, very cool trip. Got to see some of the filming locations for this. Now, there's one issue with this set for just my room personally. I can't fit it anywhere that it works well. It is 14 inches high, and it is essentially 2 foot long. It can fit in a whole display, but I like having bigger displays for like something I can grow upon. Now you can also display it just as the boat and as the shark, but in my opinion, that's not really what I want to do here. I want to build it as its display because it would just look so much cooler. But you can display them separately with Bruce on his own, the minifigures, and of course the actual Orca itself off to the side. So you can do that if you don't want a full display for it, but it's going to be an awesome set. I'm so excited for it, and it gives me an excuse to watch Jaws for like the 4th time this year already. So very excited, and like I said, this is part of this is the 3rd August 1st set that we're building here. Now, you're going to see stuff, the cabin scene going on in the background, that will not come out in this channel for like another month, just because I'm scheduling deep into September already, and this will be coming out mid-August probably, depending on how fast I actually build it and do the editing process and all that stuff. So there's a ton of stuff that has changed in this room just in the past few days. I've essentially been remodeling a whole bunch of the Lego room, and some of the subtle changes you probably won't notice, but there are some huge like spoiler changes in around here that I'm not going to talk about obviously in this video. But the dragon display is looking really cool. The Source Dragon is absolutely wicked. I actually just finished building that a little bit ago. Just sat down to make myself some lunch, and I'm going to start building this while doing that. So very, very excited for this. Like I said, it does retail for $150, and it is one of the most anticipated sets for me ever for Lego. I've wanted to draw a set for ages, and the amount of people that actually sent me like the screenshots of this, but family, friends, coworkers, and stuff like that, was hilarious because everyone knows how big of a fan of Jaws I am. So very excited to build this, and I don't want to ramble on too much, but I don't know where this is going. It might sit, quite honestly, in front of my Lego display over here. Right now I just have like a couple, like it's like a stuffed fish, like stuffed animal fish, like a squishmallow and a couple things, like hey, I think flounders down there. So just a couple stuffed animals, honestly, sitting in front of the Lego display. I might have to move those and just start putting a couple Lego sets in front. Like I said, I have the space for it. I just don't want to allocate an entire shelf for it when I have so many bigger displays that I'm working on. So there's a couple sets like this that don't fit anywhere in my display, so I'll have to kind of get creative with that, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just excited to build it. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another Lego build. Like, comment, subscribe if you can. Helps the channel out a lot. If you're interested in any of the displays behind me for minifigures. I think you can see probably the Clone Troopers, maybe the Marvel one. Head over to Etsy. I'll have a link in my description below, and use Spatzacus, my code, for 10% off of one of those displays at Arizona Fabrics. It's a great place. I love it. I love all the products and everything like that, and it makes some real cool displays. So if you're interested, definitely check out the link in the description below. And last but not least, follow me on Instagram if you guys want a sneak peek at projects like this and everything else in the future, all of my crazy hauls and all the stupid things that I buy. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you at the end of the build, folks. here's the final build. So I'm going to do two parts of this video essentially. I will show off just what they look like separately in case you want to display them that way, and then I'll actually build the scene. I just have it sitting up top here. I did just want to show off the actual instructions are pretty cool, so obviously pretty plain there. But once you get into it, you can actually see the fan designer, since this is an idea set, and the actual like original inspiration and stuff for it. Then some pages from the actual movie itself, the original summer blockbuster, the actual inspiration for like the music and some of the scenes and stuff like that. Very, very cool. And then from the actual Lego designer. And that's it in terms of that. And then, of course, the back of it is pretty cool. So, again, I know I was excited for this set before this video, and it does not disappoint at all. Probably one of my favorite Lego sets. I can't wait to actually see it completely like scoped out on this. I haven't built it that way, and all I need to do is put the boat on, and you essentially slip Bruce in half and do it that way. But first of all, we'll cover some of the minifigures. We, of course, have Chief Brody. He does have a pair of binoculars and his revolver that he actually shoots Jaws with a couple times right before everything goes pretty bad. Very, very cool minifigure. You have that pretty blank expression on his face, but you can also do him smirking as well. But very, very cool. Definitely gives Chief Brody vibes, in my opinion. Then we move to Hoopa. Very cool. He does have a camera when he's trying to... So, in one of the scenes, he's trying to get Brody to walk out onto the ledge of the boat to give some, and I quote, scale to the size of the shark, and he's carrying his little brown leather bag that everyone gives him some attitude for carrying so much stuff. Very, very cool headpiece, and he does have a dual facial expression. I guess I should move him towards the not-so-happy side of things, given the scene that's coming. So I guess that makes a little bit more sense, but of course has that denim jacket combination going on there, and his little blue hat. So very, very cool. Great-looking minifigure, of course. And my favorite, of course, the Lake Quint. Very, very cool. Looks fantastic. The only thing that's surprising, and I was a little bit surprised that there's only one facial expression, but given the baseball cap, I kind of understand that they couldn't have done two with it. So, I honestly didn't think about that when I was building it, but, it happens. Very, very cool. Has the machete, and it'd be really neat if there was like a little place to actually put the machete, because when he gets angry that he has to actually cut it off, he slams the machete in the side of the boat. It would be pretty cool to be able to like rack this somewhere, but, it happens. And then, of course, he has his spear gun for firing the barrels into the shark. Speaking of, here's Brucey. Very cool little nameplate here. And the shark is absolutely massive. I mean, just to give you some scale, pun intended, it is pretty massive. So very, very well done. The shark looks awesome. You cannot see any of the colorful bricks underneath. The eyes are honestly perfect. Just using a little 1x1 Technic brick. Slid through a 1x2 into a 1x1. The fins, the tail, everything just looks fantastic. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then we move to the Orca. Obviously, most of the meat of the build as I casually break a piece off of the bottom somehow. So that actually will bring me to my first point of just a slight gripe that I had with one of the building techniques here. They had you add some of these pieces after building this. And I don't know why we couldn't just add that when we were doing the bottom of the boat. That is kind of my only complaint with this set. In terms of the building techniques, adding details to the bottom when you have a very flimsy Technic built, mast here. I just think it was a little weird, but, I'm obviously not going to be too upset by one bad, not bad even, just one slight design flaw while you're building it. I do think that is a little awkward to do. But you have a bunch of the spears on both sides here. These ropes come off incredibly easy, so you will have to probably place these back on. I made the knot too tight at first, then not tight enough. I kind of got it to a point where it looks good, so I'm going to leave it there, but that is one thing. Depending on how loose or tight you make these knots for the pieces up here, will determine how flimsy they are actually being hung. So definitely keep that in mind. We have one barrel ready to go, another one here, and a couple more in the back, obviously to weigh him down. The actual building techniques for here look awesome. We have a couple of hot dogs as the end of the railing and some droid arms, even in the same color. So this piece here looks fantastic. This is definitely able to be put in like cities and boatyards and stuff. 100%. It looks fantastic. We have a couple sticker pieces for the MS-15LF for the actual boat moniker there. And then 2 of these bicycle racks to form a shark's mouth, which is very cool. And we have the little spotlight up here. Once the lighting kit happens for this, definitely going to be a light kit up there. However, you know, I think, I know there's obviously, like, there will probably be a light kit for this to, like, light up the water and everything like that. Most of my displays, I don't light up the water. Maybe for this one I will, since it is a one-off display. But if not, like, I could see just the cabin, the light there. Maybe I can add some, like, fire to the back, depending on the scene that I'm actually going for. But yeah, that's obviously going to be done down the road from here, but there's Easter eggs all over this. Obviously, you have a couple people, pieces. You have a couple pieces of the shark cage. I was debating, honestly, maybe building an entire cage and hanging it off the actual winch here. I think that could be pretty cool, and that just slides into the rack here. One of the other Easter eggs sitting on the side of the boat are 2 of the canisters that Hooper yells at Brody for actually mishandling a little bit earlier because of a supposed bad knot. Those are obviously very central to the story. So very cool that they're included in the side there. A little bit small for the shark's mouth, but I'm sure we can make it work. Some life preservers up top as well. You use little foam pieces for like the top railing, and I think that looks awesome. A couple vents, and you have the actual tie-offs for when they hook the shark on the side. We do have Quint's actual seat back here with a fishing rod attached to it. So I think, depending on how I want to display this, I will be having him, like, maybe fishing for the shark. It'd be cool to, like, have a rope, maybe have him hooked in. I think that'd be pretty cool. And again, if you want to have a couple tie-offs for the shark's mouth as well, or, you know, I'm sure you could rip one of those out if you really want to do. Another small Easter egg here, and before I forget, obviously we have a beautiful printed piece for the Orca here. We have a small bucket on the side. I'm going to put a red 1x1 in there to simulate the actual chum when they're chumming for Jaws, and he says you're going to need a bigger boat. Speaking of the mast, this piece is a little bit flimsy, but it is obviously made to move in multiple directions, and, you know, you have a little mechanism up here as well. The flag looks fantastic, and these 2 little winch pieces are for the actual rope. So looks really, really good. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks fantastic. Now, to get the actual roof piece off is a little tough in here, just with everything going on, so you do have to be relatively careful, and it does not come off clean because of those roped pieces. So definitely a little tough to get the roof off if you're trying to go into the actual cabin, which for the review's sake, of course, we're going to do a little bit of. We have a map in here of some shark locations. Obviously the steering column. We have a couple of gaskets, a little like stove area for their coffee, and the seat where they share their terrifying shark encounters, and a little, what is it called? The Amity Gazette. Very, very cool. So, Campbell attacked. Very, very nice. We have a couple pieces like a compass up here, gauge, coffee mug, some more gauges up top, a letter. Looks fantastic. I absolutely love it, and we've got a couple of large fishing rods also off to the side. You know, as an obsessive fisherman, obviously, I'm like, oh, if they make a brown fishing rod, I want to replace this to brown, and then replace the reel being black just to be a little bit more accurate. And obviously, no, I'm not dinging any points here. That is just me wanting to be obsessive over one of my favorite movies. Jaws Lego is perfect. It combines fishing, combines Jaws, and it combines Lego. Those are 3 of my absolute favorite things in this entire life, and I love it. So very, very cool. This ship looks just fantastic, and I absolutely love it. Probably one of my favorite builds ever. 2024 is a really good year for Lego so far. Between Barad-dûr, between Jaws, between the Source Dragon, and I gotta press that down a little bit, but it has been an awesome year. Now, without further ado, let's take this Jaws apart here. Where's Big Boy? Get him apart and put on the actual display. Alright, well, definitely a very, very cool display. So we've got Brody shooting at Jaws up here. We have Quint with his machete about to take him on. And then Hooper just kind of hanging out with some barrels in the background here. But you know what? Looks awesome. I love the actual look of the waves. In the backdrop, try and turn this without it breaking here. This is a little bit tough to turn. Try and show it from the back side too. We do have one of the barrels hanging off of Jaws here, so that is a very cool little addition, but you can obviously see the white caps coming off of the backdrop as well. And then, of course, last but not least, to show off, a lot of water, a lot of white caps and stuff like that. Right here with the Lego Jaws, and of course, you're going to need a bigger boat, little Chief Brody underneath. Very, very awesome. I absolutely love this set, and I think it is fantastic. Not just from a Jaws perspective, but from a Lego perspective too. It is an awesome display. The only thing that is unfortunate is how much this actually hangs off. So, you know, it is an odd size for a Lego display, and it does take up a lot of space. And I'll still be honest, I don't know where this is going in the room. But that's what we're going to figure out off camera. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another Lego video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can. And follow me on Instagram. It helps the channel out a lot. And I'll see you next time. Have a good day.